To those of you joining us today, thank you for watching the Woburn Spotlight. I'm your host, Tyler Gates, here to bring you some positivity by talking to those in town, making big strides for the greater good. Today I'm fortunate to have with me a friend of mine, J. Lucky Henry from JLH Realty Group. It's a stem of the Keller Williams division.
Exactly.
J. Lucky Henry, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, Tyler. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we're going to be talking a little bit about you and your brand, because frankly you've impressed me, Lucky, over the last 3 or 4 months that we've gotten to know each other. You do a really good job at social media.
Thank you.
You do a really good job at real estate, and I think you've combined the two to build a successful practice. Is that fair to say?
I would say so. I could say so, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, just for anyone that hasn't met you yet, do you mind just telling us a little bit about you and what brought you to Keller Williams?
Okay, sure. So my name is J. Lucky Henry. Just go by Lucky. It's easy to remember. And I moved here when I was 18 from Aruba. Grew up in Aruba, moved to the United States, actually Connecticut. So I was in New England, but I wasn't in Massachusetts yet.
Yep.
Went to school there, ended up in Massachusetts on a football scholarship to Merrimack College in Andover. It's kind of brought me to the Essex County area.
Yep.
And I don't know, I was majoring in advertising, so that's where my background in like social media and creativity comes from. But sales just grabbed me. I worked at the company selling knives like every ambitious young college kid does. Did that for a while, learned the trade of like, hey, you do this, you get paid. And I was like, this is exciting.
Yeah.
So then I fell into sales, and then shortly after that I was in real estate.
So tell me about that transition into real estate, because it really is a people's business, and it really is an advertising business in some sense.
Definitely.
So what skills did you carry over into that real estate world that have really helped you so far?
So one of the biggest things I would say that came over is understanding like how to create inbound leads as well. Like you're in real estate, if you're in sales, you're gonna have to go out and call people and harass people, right, to get to do business. It's just the nature of the business, right? But being able to stay top of mind and let people know I'm here when you need it without being pushy, and maybe a combination of two can really help your business thrive.
Okay.
So learning the video marketing skills I learned in advertising, learning the long game, right? I'm not just in it for, I need a deal tomorrow. I'm in it for the long game. So in creating those long kind of campaigns with myself as the customer, it was a very weird transition, to be honest, at first. I knew how to do it for someone else. Like if you came to me and you said, hey, Lucky, I'm doing this, financial advising, I want to be known throughout here. I'd come up with the perfect game plan for you, step by step, here's how we're going to do it. And I sat down with myself and I was like, hey, I want to be in real estate and I want to be in here for the next 20, 30, 40 years. And I couldn't come up with a game plan. I was like, I don't know what to do with myself. Like,
you almost just become overwhelmed, right? Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, And I was like, all right, pretend it's not you. Pretend you had a friend who wanted to do it, and your friend happens to be the same age as you, look just like you, and they want to do it. What would you tell them?
Whatever it takes to convince yourself.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So those skills transferred over once I was able to get over that hump of treating myself as a client and kind of building it right.
So tell me about that initial action plan. I know we're going to dive into some of the things that you're doing today, and that may have evolved, but can you walk me through some of that initial brainstorming sessions? What hit the paper and what you did first?
One of the first things was I knew I was in sales. I was selling knives. I'd actually done a little advertising company for a while. And then I was like, all right, let's do real estate. Let's boggle down and do this. And I was like, you're going to need nice clothes, right? You're dressed nice. I was like, I need nice clothes. So I went and worked at a fashion store. I knew nothing about men's fashion. So that was actually my first stop before I got to real estate.
Oh, so this is a couple step process.
Exactly. I was like, let me go and learn to look the part. And while I'm learning to look the part, I'll learn the actual part, like learn about sales more, learn about real estate itself. Because like I said, growing up in Aruba, what do I know about heating systems, right? Everyone in New England has a heating system, but I knew nothing about that. So I needed to take the time to learn that.
That's fair.
And I learned that while at the same time while I was learning how to actually dress the part. So I worked at Men's Warehouse, sharpened my sales skills, learned how to dress, and shortly, about a year after that, is when I actually joined real estate. So I was like, all right, I got a closet full of suits now. I look the part. I've been studying real estate itself. There's nothing left to do but get into it. So I jumped in, and I walked into Keller Williams. And I had interviewed at a couple different places, and after I passed the test and obviously all of that, what I found was very interesting about Keller Williams was every shop I went to, the boutique shops, I went to the big shops, I went to all of them, and they all had the same book that they recommended to me. Now mind you, I knew nothing about real estate, but they were just all recommended this book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And I was like, well, that's a good title. Like if I'm gonna get into real estate, why wouldn't I want to be a millionaire, right? Yeah. Might as well read it. And then what I found out was the author of that book is one of the founders of Keller Williams. So I was like, if we're all gonna play by the same playbook here, why wouldn't I go to the company that wrote the book? And so I just walked in, and that's kind of how.
I love that approach. I didn't know that about
Yeah.
you, Lucky.
Yeah,
That's a good story.
Thank you. So I ended up at Keller Williams, and I love it. Since I've been there.
How was the book?
The book was good. I read it twice.
Yeah.
I'm going on my third time actually. It's a good book. They should definitely do a revisited book with
Okay.
like 2018 kind of practices to combine. But the theories and the principles are definitely timeless and definitely a good read.
That's a great point. That's
Yeah.
a great point. So since that
Yeah.
point, since your transition, checking the suits off the list, checking the knowledge off
Mhm.
the list, you joined with a team at Keller Williams, or is it just yourself? Please tell me a little bit about that.
Keller Williams does have a tremendous team model. They're one of the best training companies, period, like across industries. But they have a great team model, and I didn't join with a team right away. So I came in young, ambitious. I just come from running my own advertising company, working at Men's Warehouse, and I was like, I got this. Not that I didn't want to be on a team per se, but it needed to be the right fit, right? As I'm sure. So I played, like I said, I played sports, right? And I've been on teams, so I love team environments. But there has to be a ceiling that's almost unattainable for me if I'm going to be on a team, right? I can follow the leader, but I need to trust that the leader is always going to stay the leader, and that I don't ever want to join where I feel like eventually I'm going to butt heads or catch up. So I thought that, you know what, I'm going to try this on my own. In hindsight, was it the best idea? Maybe, maybe not. It worked, right? It worked. I went out, and like I said, I treated myself like the client, went out there on my own and started door knocking, right? Like I said, I moved from Aruba. I lived in Connecticut. Now I'm here. I didn't have what they were teaching me to do, which was call your sphere of influence. Call the people you know. And I was like, yeah, everybody I know wants to like move back home with their mom and dad because we all just graduated and we all got student debt and nobody can afford to buy anything.
It's the reality, right?
It's the reality. So I was like, this isn't going to work. So you would think maybe, okay, do I give up then? Do I need to join the team? I was like, no, I'm going to figure this out. So I started use my fitness background and started teaching fitness classes at a boxing gym. And I was able to create that kind of as my sphere. So that became my sphere in a way, and that's where I kind of got my first couple of deals from. And I came out the gate pretty fast.
Good for you.
I think, not to brag, but the average agent, as they say, it takes about 6 months, I believe, to get your first deal. I had my first deal signed and closed within 3. So I came out pretty aggressive. So I'd say it worked.
Good.
It worked.
Good. I definitely wouldn't have expected anything less. Sounds like you had a game plan, and that was only a matter of time.
It's only, yes, as it is with most things, it's a matter of time.
Well, good. Well, I appreciate you sharing a little bit of the backstory. It will definitely, hopefully, paint a picture for people today. So I think we're going to do 2 things, and please add to the agenda if you want. We're going to talk about the social media, and then we're going to talk about maybe some North Shore markets, things that you might be seeing, because as you know, and maybe a lot of the viewers are experiencing, 2018 has been an interesting housing market for this economy or this area, right?
Yep.
So why don't we start with some of the social media?
Okay.
Maybe some tidbits, some things that you're doing really well,
Okay.
and maybe even some day-to-day stuff that you're doing, because I know repetition is big for you and staying consistent. Right? So I'll let you
already
go.
nailed it. You
I don't want to take anything else away.
So first of all, we're talking about building a brand a bit, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying I have a brand. I've been working on the brand, so I appreciate it getting noticed. But I mean, really, what do you define as a brand is really important. And to me, what I define as a brand is something that, and these are words that I learned from a great mentor of mine who passed away recently, but his name is Hayden Edwards. He actually taught me this. He was my advertising mentor, and now I still consider him my mentor, even though he's no longer here. But the words were, a brand is something people will drive a little bit further for and pay a little bit more for, right? Like, you have a certain suit shop, right, that sells suits, but you have a more high-end one over here. You might drive a little bit further to go get that nicer quality suit. So that's what he kind of defined as a brand. And some of the things he taught me on how to build one, the words you just said literally was repetition or consistent, right? Being consistent. So one of the big things I try to do is be consistent. To take social media, for example, I post a video every day. Right? It's not super long. It's about 90 seconds, give or take, and it's just a little bit of information like what is a FHA loan, what is a conventional loan, how to buy in a seller's market, any question that I think someone might have or someone has brought to me over the last 2 years in real estate related. I try to make a 90-second video that kind of sums it up for them, so that when you're going through the decision of buying or selling, renting, investing, and you Google those questions, there's a huge library here for you to answer any question. And if it's not there, then comment, hey, I need the answer to this, and I'll make the video and post it tomorrow for you. Yeah. Right? If I'll change the agenda if someone comments and says like, hey, we want this, I literally have paused the agenda and be like, this is a fan request, and you see a new video come out that technically wasn't even scheduled for that day because I
That's
want to
cool.
answer that question.
That's
Yeah.
cool. So you're flexible, but it sounds like you have a schedule, so you know what's coming down the pipeline today, tomorrow, next week.
Next week, then it's so the goal is actually we're doing one every day for 365 days.
Okay.
Where I believe we are at 80 right now online. So if you check out like on YouTube, you'll see like we're 80. They're called Real Estate Explained Deep, and we're gonna do them till 2019, end of July. That's when we end. 365 of those. Plus there's other content we post, longer videos, but that's consistency, right?
Every day.
And every day.
Haven't missed?
Haven't missed. Have not missed, right? We have missed the timing. So it's supposed to be 7:30 every morning. We have posted at 9 before, for full disclosure. The latest, I think one time we got to 11.
I appreciate the full disclosure.
Full disclosure, but we're every day consistent. Have not missed a day yet. Will not miss a day either, right? Quote me on that.
Consistency,
right?
I love
Consistency. And I mean, those are when I think about building a brand, those are three things I think of. Like, we've met now, we've been knowing each other for a couple of months, we've met business-wise, friend-wise, and you have a brand, and you're consistent with it. Like, when I think Tyler, I think he's always dressed nice, manicured well, like, and those are all things that you're consistent with, that build a brand to you, right? Anytime I think of you, I think of those characteristics, and it creates a certain feeling, the feeling that you want me to.
Good to know.
Yeah, the feeling that you want me to have is that you're a professional and that gets the job done, right? And I think when you're creating a brand, it's really three things. Like, you're going from consistent. Maybe you're not doing a good job at it, but at least you're doing it. Like, maybe the first videos I posted,
Just get out there.
Just
start doing
just
it.
doing it. Just do it. Maybe the first videos I posted sucked. They weren't good, right? But as I keep doing it, I'm gonna get more efficient. Like, I'm gonna get a system basically that makes it more efficient, and eventually I'll be proficient at it. I really hope and trust that video 365 is gonna be better than video number 1. And people will meet me at video 360 and say, wow, this guy's got a
And they
nice,
watch
strong
360 through 365.
Exactly. And they're like, he's got a great brand, love it. And then they look back and they'll see, wow, those were kind of bad. But hey, you know what? He was consistent. He consistently got better and efficient, and that's someone I want that's constantly getting better and learning and evolving. At least that's what I hope that they take from it.
No, this is great. And I want to circle back to it at the end and put your information up there. But can you say again, how do we find those on YouTube if somebody is watching in the middle of this, wants to pull up one?
Oh, you just type in on YouTube. If you type in J Lucky Henry, or if you just type in Real Estate Explained. I'm trying to own that brand.
Real Estate Explained?
Yeah. Besides my name, J Lucky Henry, I'm trying to own Real Estate Explained.
Okay.
Or Real Estate X. Right. Really good. Really, I just want to take over, like, brand it to me. Yeah.
Now you have the vision for it, so just putting the plan in place. That's what it takes. So you have a schedule out. What else are you doing? That's consistency at its finest, right? Every day, 7:30, a few other blurbs, but that's okay. We won't hold you to those, Jay. What else are you doing, and how are you doing it on a more large scale? It sounds like you're putting out some longer content in between.
Yeah.
Just feel free to run with it.
Yeah, so in terms of longer content, so I'll back it up a little bit, like consistency and efficiency, proficiency. Those are like my 3 stages of building the brand. YouTube is my platform. Like, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I got a Pinterest, I got it all, right? To me, like, in the words of Gary Vaynerchuk, that social media is the new television, and all these platforms are different channels. So I'm on all of them. But YouTube is my channel.
That's your bread and butter.
I want to have the largest real estate educational channel on YouTube, period. Like, and not here's how you get rich flipping houses type of thing. And there's nothing wrong with those channels,
but you want to be adding value
but
through education.
Through education, through just a regular person who's like, I don't want to invest in flip house. I just want to learn how to sell my house. I just want to know how do I pick a good agent. I just want to know, what does it mean when it's a buyer's market, how should I be pricing my house? Or when it's a seller's market, how should I be pricing my house differently then? Like, I just want to have a channel that these people can educate themselves on those, and whether they choose to work with me, some agent where they live or whatever, it's fine. I just want to have the largest educational thing on it. So some of the other content I'm putting out is I'm meeting with other professionals, loan officers, real estate attorneys, financial advisors. We should definitely do a video together, right? And kind of walking and talking with them. So I literally get out the selfie stick, right? And that's the cool thing about it, is we live in an age where it's not as expensive as it used to be to get yourself out there, put yourself out there. So a selfie stick, a cell phone, an hour of your time, and another professional. That's all it takes me to do these videos. And we walk and we talk about what the person does and how they can help during a real estate transaction. So again, so everyone's considering buying or selling or investing in real estate when they're looking at my channel or learning about it. So I get the professionals that you're gonna need throughout the process besides a realtor to come in and talk to you. So that's one, we call those real street talk, but also call them walk and talk. We haven't, we're inconsistent there. We should be consistently branding it a name, but we haven't decided on one. So we've got about 4 or 5 of those. I'm also coming out with a cool, so this is actually the first time I'm announcing it. I don't know how you got me to tell you yet, but we're doing a weekly reality kind of TV show where basically, again, it's super easy to produce. It's me holding a camera, right? And then editing it. But basically we walk all the houses. Every time I'm in a new house, we're recording videos, we're taking pictures, we're talking to clients, and we just recap that at the end of the week. And I'll just talk about what happened this week, like, and what lessons have I talked about that, hey, remember when I talked about buying in a seller's market? Well,
Episode, whatever.
yeah, we're in a seller's market, and look at, here's my client trying to buy, and here's what's happening. This is what it is, or you know what? And every week we're just kind of recapping and putting those out. So those actually start in November. So those will be exciting when they come out.
So for a lot of what you're doing, you must have to have a pipeline of content. For the daily videos, how many weeks out in advance are you scheduling something like that?
So for the daily videos, what we did was, you're 100% right. So I'll take you back to memory lane a little bit. I actually started this, technically we should be at 130, right? But we're only at 80.
Right.
I was 50 videos deep before I realized I didn't have that exact kind of plan. I was consistent, but I wasn't efficient. I was literally scrambling every day, like, what do I post today? And I would just put something together.
Okay.
And then the videos actually weren't even edited in a nice flow like they are now. So I went back, I evaluated, and I was like, you know what, let's get better at this. Like, we were consistent, let's get efficient now. Let's put a system together. And we did. We shot an intro that we liked, shot an outro we liked, and now it's like record and put in and post, and it has a nice flow. So, but before we started that, we said, let's create an entire curriculum.
Okay.
What is everything someone needs to learn? And we broke that down into videos. So they broke down to the mini series. Like, series 1 might be like, what are different roles that agents do? Like, agent can list your house, an agent can help you buy, agent could be a rental. And then so it's broken down. So how far out are we? 365 days. We have the whole curriculum written. Like, so it's like every day I go in there and I just look at what's next. I'm like, oh, this is the topic we got to talk about today. Check my sources, make sure I know it. Stand in front of the camera, ready, aim, fire.
90 seconds later.
90 seconds later, there's a video online. It's that. So that's how far out we are with those right now. Yeah.
That's significant. That's significant. So I asked that question because I assume leading into your November launch, you're going to have a pipeline of 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks worth of activity kind of flowing into the first couple of videos. Is that fair?
Yes, totally fair. So because it's a reality, we kind of want it to be
in
a little real-time-ish, raw-ish.
Okay.
But yeah, it would be extremely, as I'm not a full-blown media company, it would be tough to do it like record it on Monday, what just happened Sunday, and post the whole production. So we will be about
Tough to do right now.
Tough to do right now,
Give it time.
exactly. Give it time.
That's good.
We will definitely be like 2 weeks, like a 2-3 week lag time, but still kind of real time. So it'll be kind of fun.
So I want to hear. I think I've gotten a ton of good little nuggets today, and I know the viewers definitely have too. Do you mind if you had to wrap up some of your social media presence into 2 or 3 big takeaways or tips for somebody starting or somebody trying to revamp their social media game? Do you mind just spending some time on some of those big points that you'd really hit home?
Okay, sure. I would definitely pick a platform you want to dominate, right? Be on all of them though, right? I know it's like contradiction,
channels, right?
Yeah, be on all the channels. He's like,
but
be really good at one, right? Like, trying to think for an example, Will Smith, right? The acts, and it seems, where is he going with this? Will Smith acts. He's a sci-fi type of like superhero. I, Robot, is that the movie?
Yeah.
That's his thing, right? You might see him in another movie. You might see him on a TV series. But that's his thing. That's his thing, right?
Okay.
So like, pick the platform. For me, it's YouTube. I'm going to dominate YouTube. That's my thing, and I'm going to dominate videos. You might see my videos on Facebook. You might see my videos on Instagram, but all of it's going to be leading back to YouTube because I want to build that base there of loyal followers and content creation and having that big brand presence. So pick one, get good at something, and I would also say, done is better than perfect, right? Perfectly not done, because like you could spend, especially with video, you could spend a lot of time like, oh, why was my hair like that? What was wrong with my jacket? And fixing stuff and just put it out there. Get it consistent first. That's why I like consistent till you're efficient, then you become proficient, right? When you're efficient, you just have figured out better systems. Then when you're proficient, you really understood it and you understand how to get it better. So do it, pick one, start doing it, and then figure out how to get better after that. But if you wait till you're great, you won't actually start because there's always room for improvement.
Okay, so pick a platform, own it, and get it done.
Get it done.
Get started.
Get started.
Get started yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you haven't posted a video yet.
I'm asking myself the same question, really. Great, and that, I'd love to segue into maybe kind of something you were just actually talking about when you were talking, I had 50 episodes that were kind of all over the place. Is there anything else that you did early on that you found that maybe you've stopped doing, let's just say, in the last couple of months or weeks?
Yeah, in the last couple, something else I was doing, I've stopped because I realized, can I do it? Yeah. But is it the best use of my time? No. And I will start when I can delegate that out, maybe, or leverage it. But writing blogs. I'm a decent writer. Well, actually, I'm pretty good. I used to write people's papers in college, but that's a whole other story. Right? So I would write blogs, and I was like, cool, this is kind of fun. You know, I wrote the blog, but it didn't get as much traction as the video, right? I could deliver more passion in the video, and I just got a better response from people that knew me. It just fit better for me to produce video than blogs, so I went with the video. So I kind of let the blogs go. Something else I had to stop and restart was door knocking. Okay. So when I first started, I just went out there door knocking. I was like, I don't have a sphere. How am I going to generate business? I just went door knocking, and I was out there for hours knocking, and I'd have a lot of great conversations. The conversations didn't lead to anything, right? And I didn't need it to lead to something in the short term, but it's been 2 years, it hasn't led to something. And I realized, because I was having the wrong type of conversation, right? I wasn't having a conversation around coming from contribution and talking about how can I help, right? It was kind of more like, hey, you trying to sell your house? No? Okay, bye, right? That's fair. It's not the right way to be out there doing it. Like, I have to be actually in tune and helping people and bringing value, bringing information. And now I'm way more efficient at it. And even if someone's not interested in selling or buying at the moment, they're interested in staying in touch with me, right? And it's because I've learned to fill myself with knowledge and then share that knowledge, because really that's what people want, more information to make informed decisions. So if I'm able to provide that type of information, now people want to stay in touch for the future, and creating this brand that is consistently delivering information on YouTube and stuff. People know that this is what I do every day. Like, I'm constantly studying, constantly learning. So I had to stop door knocking until I understood how to be better at it. Stopped writing blogs. Won't start again. Don't want to write anymore. I would let somebody else take care of the writing for me.
That's okay too.
Trying to think, what else? Anything else I was doing that I totally stopped? I totally stopped taking on every single client or potential client just because I needed the business, right? And you could say, oh, well, it's easy to do that if you have business, right? But I actually stopped it before I was in a place that I comfortably had business, because I realized that you will run around and run yourself ragged sometimes for people that aren't necessarily serious about buying or selling at the moment, or who actually don't value your time because maybe they are a friend, right? And they're a friend from college or something, and they're just like, okay, yeah, I want to go look at this place. And then you're like, okay, you set up the showing, you coordinate, the seller gets out of the house, the listing agent's there, you're there. And an hour before, they're like, oh, I'm kind of tired, it was a long day at the beach, not gonna go. And you're like, you would never do that to your dentist, you would never do that to another professional that wasn't your friend. Yeah. So you kind of got to start having those tough conversations. And that's what I mean when I kind of had to learn to stop letting people not respect my time. So that's one thing I learned early on.
From what I'm hearing and kind of connecting the two from an early statement, it's like you want the person that will drive that extra mile for the value and to pay that extra price tag for the brand. Yeah. And it's great that you were able to kind of spot that early on in your career, because I know a lot of folks that say they're going to cut that client out of their life at some point, and before you know it, you're running around 20 years later servicing hundreds of those kind.
Exactly. And interesting. And to keep just to, well, not contradict, but to complement what you're saying is, there's a client that I'm working with now, and I've been working with him for over a year. And why would I be dealing with that long? Because he is very respectful of the time, and I'm very respectful of him. And we're working for so long because he has a special need that is required. But his daughter is in a wheelchair, so we need to find something very specific in a certain town at a certain price point. And I have no problem going that extra mile and run around for him to do it, because he's serious, respectful, wants to get it done. And he knows what he's dealing with. He knows that I will go those extra miles for him. He's appreciative of it. Yeah. But when it's not appreciated, it's like, and you're early on, you may be desperate for the money. You're like, I'll just do it anyway. Even though they're not treating me right, I'll do it. And it's like, nah, you got to cut that out. And you got to build your brand and let your brand know, like, For example, if you go into Macy's, you might get a discount at Macy's when you haggle with the cashier, right? You go into Gucci, you're not getting a discount at the counter when you haggle with the cashier. No matter how much you haggle, you're not getting that discount. And if you're going to be Macy's, that's fine. You're going to do a lot of volume, and you have to understand that that's your brand. If you're going to be Gucci or Prada or some higher other brand, then you got to understand that that's my brand, and I don't discount my value for anything.
I'm glad you finished on that note, and I'd love to segue into the markets as you talk about one of the clients that you've helped. I know you've helped a lot of folks, frankly, in the North Shore, and a period of time, in my opinion, which has been great to see you out there hustling and helping. You want to just talk briefly on what you're seeing out there? I know the markets have been interesting in 2018.
Oh man, 2018. What do you want to talk about? The condo boom? Do you want to talk about multis selling? Do you want to talk about single families?
That's not my world, my friend. I send my clients to you, so wherever you want to take it.
Oh man, so let me think. It's been an incredible year. Prices in the spring market all over the North Shore have been going well above asking price. And it climbed and it climbed. What we're seeing now is we are seeing a little pushback at the moment right now as we're entering the fall market. Historically, fall does slow a little bit more down from the summer months and spring months, but we're seeing a little bit of pushback. We're seeing more price reductions than we've seen recently. Is that a reason to be alarmed? I don't say so, right? But it typically happens, right? If you see everyone's putting their house on the market and getting 20, 30, 40 over asking, you're like, well, if they got that for this, I'm gonna list my price right at the house for what they got or a little bit more. And it's like, well, didn't you notice that they put it at 650 and it got bumped up to 670?
Right.
You're starting at 680. Like, you're not gonna have the same effect they have, right? Because pricing is all about strategy, right? You start high, give yourself room, or do you start low and create insane value so people bump it up? Because at the end of the day, every house sells for fair market value because the house is on the market and it's a fair opportunity for everyone to buy it. So whether you think it's worth more or not personally, it sells for fair market value if it's on the fair market. So I've seen a lot of inventory move this summer. It's starting to slow down a little bit, but nothing to be crazy. I mean, Woburn particularly, right now I believe there's over 150 between condos, singles, multifamilies that have sold in the last 3 months. So it's an active market. There's probably 100 and something on the market right now between those three right now. What I did think is interesting about Woburn particularly right now is that the average price for a single family versus a condo is within 100 grand right now. The average price, it's within 60 grand right now of difference, and the average price for a multi is within 80. So they are right there, right? Which I find really interesting because the question is now,
what do you do?
What do you do, right? It's not like, oh, I'm gonna get a condo because it's so much cheaper. It's almost the same price. Right? So it's really about the lifestyle. What do you want? Do you want a condo? Do you want a house? Do you not want to take care of your landscaping? Do you want to take care of your landscaping? Right?
That's very true. That's very true.
And do you want some residual income by just owning a multi for an extra 40, 50 grand at this point? Right? So very close. One of the few places in Essex County right now that all of the pricing for the average price for these are so close together.
Interesting point. And as we get closer to our time, I've enjoyed our time together, Lucky. I wish we had another half hour there. But I want to make sure to give you the floor. Feel free to talk to our viewers. Let them know again what you do, how to get a hold of you, and if they're interested about social media or real estate explained. Feel free to take the floor.
Oh man, thank you. Sure you want to do that? You just gonna let me free reign?
You got it, free reign.
All right. So again, I appreciate you guys checking out. My name is J. Lucky Henry, but you can just call me Lucky. My YouTube channel is at J. Lucky Henry. You can check out a bunch of videos there about real estate. If you ever want to get in touch, just give me a call, text 978-712-0244. And I'm happy to be here. I thank Tyler for the time to be here. It was great chatting with you guys. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you use. It's all at J. Lucky Henry. And this is some great water that you have provided today. I love it.
For anyone that can't taste the water, there's a hint of orange that neither of us expected. But
quite strong.
Lucky, thank you for joining me today. It's always a pleasure, and we'll have to have you back on to hear about the markets in the future.
Definitely, we should definitely do a video together. So we'll post that.
Walk and talk. And thank you all for watching today's show with J. Lucky Henry. Remember, we all have one life to live. Let's all do our part. I'm your host, Tyler Gates. Join us again next time for another episode of the Woburn Spotlight.